Had the truck in the shop the other day and working on improving the water fording spots, which could be vulnerable to getting water in. In the front, I extended the front axle tube vent up into the hood area. You'll see that later in the video. And basically for that, I used this 3/8 fuel line and this 3/8 fuel injection clamp. Was going to extend the rear up some more, although it's up pretty high, but the connector on the axle was different than the connector on the front, and it looked like on the back it was more of a hose barb. Didn't want to verify that or pull that out because I'm going off-roading in a few days and I'm going to be crossing some water, so I didn't want to have an issue. So what I'll probably end up doing is getting a connector to connect the two pieces of hose together and put that up fairly high, and then extend that vent up, you know, across the top of the frame there and in front of this fender well, and up the fuel filler hose or pipe that goes down through there, and basically vent it out there, which will be plenty high enough. We have now run the vent line up through here and tied it to that brake line, and we're going to mount it somewhere at the top and figure out a good place to put this other cap back on it that was originally on there. We ran the vent line up here and tied it to this line that's going into the firewall, and checked all the clearances and everything looked pretty good. So now the vent's up pretty high, definitely higher than I would want to go with water. Putting on some dielectric grease on the electrical connections. We've already done the front and rear disconnect, or excuse me, lockers, and now we're looking at the sway bar disconnect, getting ready to put this gasket back around it and put some dielectric grease on it, and it should be good to go. Also, we shortened the tailpipe, and so we can move this exhaust tip back to give it a little more clearance underneath. I'll get a measurement on that, but it probably raised it up about 1/2 inch or so. The other thing that we looked at when we had the truck up on the lift is the transfer case vent is up around 34.5 inches from the ground. It's the same type of vent that is used in the front axle. It's a Gore-Tex type vent, which should work well anyway. And the transmission is 38.5 inches from the ground. So I don't plan on crossing anything deeper than 30 inches, although that the truck has been lifted up a little higher and has bigger tires than the factory, which the factory max recommendation is 30 inches, and I probably could go a little higher than that since I've done the modification so far for the tires and the lift. But again, I don't really want to make a submarine or a boat out of my truck, just want to go off-roading and have some fun.